Ever since Kamala became the presidential candidate, I am so sick. I mean, sick of hearing black people keep running the fact that she said she's not only going to do something for black people. Because it shows that 1, you have no common sense. 2, you have no idea what the president of the United States should represent. 3, you're just flat out ignorant. Let's just say, taking her completely out of the equation, let's just throw in a random white president. Let's say Nixon. Let's say Nixon back in the days just came out and said, I want you to vote for me, and I'm going to bring about change. I plan on bringing about laws that make white people more dominant in the United States. I'm going to give white people tax breaks because they're white, and they should always be on top. I'm going to give every white person $25,000 so that they could buy a home. Just white people. You know who would be happy about that? White people. Would he have gotten votes from anybody else other than white people if he said that? Probably not. Would you have voted for him if he said that he was just rolling out laws just for white people? Think about it, would you? Maybe not. But you know what he did do instead? Instead of coming out to say that he's going to do these things just for white people, what he did was declare the war on drugs. He made drugs public enemy number 1, which demonized black people because they were flooding drugs into our neighborhoods, which gave them carte blanche to lock them up. Filter drugs into the black neighborhoods, get them hooked on the drugs. Then we declare a war on drugs so we can put them all in jail. We can't forget his Southern strategy, the dog whistle to all the white people who were pissed off at civil rights, didn't like the black people having anything, thought they should still be slaves and knew their place. That strategy was geared towards them, white people. But he didn't come out and flat out say that the Southern strategy was just laws for white people, right? Most of Nixon's law and order policies gave the police the power to exact personal prejudice against the black people. So that was like a white law too, right? He just didn't say it was. He also cut funding for social programs like housing, education, food, affected black families. So although he didn't come out and say that he's doing anything white, see how those laws are geared towards helping white people? Here's a modern day example of people saying one thing and doing something else. Our former president, Trump, he's not going to put anybody in that's going to overturn Roe versus Wade. Justices that came in, he chose. All 3 of them flat out said they weren't going to do it. That's them talking out at 2 sides of their mouth, right? I'm not going to do it, but just vote me in anyway. You get voted in, and you do the thing that you said you wasn't going to do, right? You just wanted to get in, so they would tell you anything you wanted to hear. Going back to the vice president, Kamala Harris. She said she was going to do laws just for black people. Would white people vote her in? Any other race vote her in? As the president of the United States, your job is to help all the people in the United States. 99.9% of the time, you make laws that benefit black people, they end up benefiting all people. DEI, people like to complain about, it's supposed to help black people. White women benefited from that the most, not black people. So instead of worrying about the fact that she said she's not going to do laws just for black people, why don't you choose the candidate that wants to help all people rather than just rich white people? The other guy, he flat out said that. His tax breaks are for rich white people. And his laws benefit rich white people. And why do you think he has a following of white nationalists? Because they're all for white power. And that is what he's offering them. Why half the country despises him. Because the rest of us aren't just white. White nationalism does not benefit any other race than white people. There you go. And that's almost the equivalent of white people not wanting to vote a Black Panther in the 70s into the office of presidency. How that would not have been an option back then, just like he should not be an option right now. That's all I'm saying.